Crossing the border between life and death is a transformative experience, one that few return from. Those who have lived through what is commonly called a near-death experience, ND, report moments of profound revelation, indescribable feelings, and often a radical shift in their lives. Below, discover 10 real stories of people who saw the other side and came back with powerful testimonies. What do these stories have in common? They show us that, at the edge of existence, what matters isn't what we own, but what we feel and live. Anna, 42 years old, a tunnel of light and absolute peace. Anna was in a severe car accident and was declared clinically dead for 4 minutes. During that time, she saw herself walking through a tunnel of soft light, feeling an absolute peace she had never experienced before. When she came back, she decided to completely change her lifestyle. The materialism that once guided her gave way to a more spiritual life focused on helping others. She became a hospital volunteer, comforting patients nearing their own transition. For Anna, unconditional love was the key lesson. Carlos, 55 years old, a reunion with his deceased father. During heart surgery, Carlos collapsed and was declared dead for 5 minutes. He found himself meeting his father, who had passed away 20 years earlier. They talked, and Carlos said he felt a sense of forgiveness and understanding that freed him from old grudges. After returning, he realized life was too short to hold on to resentment and rebuilt relationships with his family, with whom he hadn't spoken in years. Juliana, 33 years old, a mission revealed. After an accidental overdose, Juliana was declared dead for 7 minutes. During that time, she says she encountered a glowing figure who told her that her mission on Earth was not yet complete. When she returned to life, she decided to dedicate herself to community work and became an activist in anti-drug campaigns. Juliana believes her second chance at life was a divine calling to help others find a better path. Andre, 48 years old, the flower field and serenity. Andre had an ND after suffering a heart attack. He recalls being transported to a field of flowers where the sky was an indescribable blue and everything radiated serenity. For him, life before his experience was filled with stress and anxiety. Afterwards, he learned to value simplicity, nature, and the beauty of the present moment. Today, Andre is dedicated to meditation and teaching others how to find inner peace. Marina, 29 years old, the lost child who guided her. Marina experienced complications during childbirth and was declared dead for 4 minutes. During her ND, a child she had never met guided her through a path full of lights. She believes it was her child, who she had lost in a miscarriage years before. The experience brought her peace with the loss and strengthened her emotionally. Today, Marina works as a therapist, helping other mothers cope with the pain of loss. Joao, 61 years old, the Council of Elders. After being struck by lightning, Joao collapsed and experienced an NDE. He saw what he described as a council of elders, wise figures who seemed to know everything about his life. They made him reflect on his choices and gave him a new perspective on the impact of his actions on others. After this experience, Joao dedicated himself to mentoring young people, helping them make wiser and more conscious decisions. Rosa, 67 years old, her mother's embrace. Rosa had a cardiac arrest and was clinically dead for about 6 minutes. During that time, she says she was embraced by her mother, who had passed away when Rosa was a child. That embrace brought a sense of love and protection she had long carried as a distant memory. After returning, Rosa resolved to reconnect with her children, from whom she had been estranged due to disagreements. Today, she cherishes every moment spent with her family. Felipe, 25 years old, universal love. Felipe nearly drowned while diving in the ocean. During the minutes he was unconscious, he says he was enveloped in a warm light and felt a deep connection to the universe and all forms of life. When he awoke, he decided to dedicate himself to environmental preservation and raising awareness about the interdependence of all living beings. He believes that love is the force that binds us all. Beatrice, 50 years old, life revisited. After suffering a stroke, Beatrice had an ND in which she revisited key moments of her life, as if she were watching a movie. She says what struck her most was the importance of the small acts of kindness she had shown to others. Upon returning, she began to focus on daily acts of kindness, believing that they are the true legacy we leave behind. Marcelo, 40 years old, the choice to return. Marcelo was in a serious motorcycle accident and was declared dead for 8 minutes. During that time, he saw a bridge and a figure who asked if he wanted to cross it or return. Marcelo chose to return, thinking of his family. After the experience, he began to value his time with loved ones more and significantly reduced his work pace, putting his family first. What do these stories have in common? All these accounts share something in common: a radical shift in perspective after the experience. Those who have gone through an ND, near-death experience, report feeling a deep connection to love, kindness, and the essence of life. The experiences also highlight the importance of relationships, forgiveness, gratitude, and living in the present. The life changes these people made have a common denominator, a feeling that there is something greater than the material world. The stories of people who have had near-death experiences reveal more than just simple encounters with the unknown. They bring forth profound reflections on life, death, and what truly matters. While each experience is unique, there are some common aspects that can help us understand the transformative impact of these events. Shift in priorities. Before the ND, many of these people were focused on material aspects of life, professional success, status, possessions, and the hustle and bustle of everyday life. However, after their experience, these priorities shifted drastically. The work that once consumed most of their time loses importance, making way for the appreciation of personal relationships, free time, and quality of life. For instance, Anna, who saw the tunnel of light, left behind a successful marketing career to dedicate herself to volunteer work. Her experience on the brink of death made her realize that materialism did not bring her the peace and happiness she had been searching for. This is common in many ND accounts. After seeing the other side, people tend to let go of worldly concerns. Greater appreciation for human relationships. Another common theme is the increased importance these individuals place on their human connections. Reuniting with deceased loved ones, as Carlos did when he met his father, is a frequently reported experience. These reunions not only provide comfort but also awaken a deep desire to strengthen bonds with those still alive. This reveals an important lesson: the quality of our personal relationships often defines us, and for those who experience an ND, repairing or strengthening these connections becomes a priority. People like Rosa, who was embraced by her deceased mother during her experience, return with a strong desire to reconnect with estranged family members and friends. Death, or the glimpse of it, makes grudges and disagreements seem trivial. The search for meaning and purpose. Many survivors of an NDE report a strong sense of mission upon returning. Juliana, for example, received a clear message that her mission was not yet complete. When she returned to life, she felt a greater responsibility to help others, which led her to social and community activism. This renewed sense of purpose is also evident in Joao's story, who, after his ND, decided to dedicate himself to mentoring young people. For many, this new perspective leads them to seek ways to give back to society and the world around them. They feel that they were spared from death for a greater reason and often go on to live more altruistic and compassionate lives. A sense of universal love and inner peace. Almost all the stories mention feelings of love, peace, and acceptance that go beyond earthly experience. Felipe, who nearly drowned, described a universal connection with all forms of life, something that made him rethink his relationship with the environment and adopt a more responsible approach to nature. Others speak of sensations of unconditional love, as if they were immersed in a greater and indescribable energy. These feelings are profoundly transformative. Upon returning to life, survivors generally carry with them this sense of inner calm and a certainty that life is interconnected in ways that cannot be explained solely by science or reason. The search for this peace and serenity becomes a central goal in life post-NDE. Letting go of the fear of death. One of the strongest traits shared by these stories is the disappearance of the fear of death. Most of those who went through an NDE report that they no longer fear what will happen at the end of their lives. This is because, during the time they spent on the other side, they experienced feelings of peace and acceptance and believe that death is not the end, but a transition to something greater. This new view of death allows these individuals to live more fully and without fear, cherishing each day as a gift. Beatrice, who revisited moments from her life during her stroke, decided to live with more gratitude and place more value on small acts of kindness. Understanding that death is not something to be feared allows them to focus more on life, on the present, and on how they want to leave their mark on the world. A deep gratitude for life. Gratitude is another universal feeling among those who have had an NDE. The mere fact of being alive again is, for them, a miracle. Each moment is cherished with more intensity, and the simple things, like feeling the sun on their face or spending time with family, become precious. Marcelo, who chose to return from his NDE thinking about his family, exemplifies this gratitude. He radically changed his life, putting work second to spend more time with his loved ones. Realizing that life can be short and unpredictable, these people begin to see the world with new eyes, celebrating even the smallest moments. A new spiritual perspective. Even though not all NDE survivors have a specific religious view, many return with a new spiritual understanding. For some, like Juliana, this manifests as a clearer belief in a divine purpose. For others, like Andre, spirituality takes on more subtle forms, such as meditation or contemplation of nature. What all these people have in common, however, is the certainty that there is something greater than our physical existence. Whether it's God, the universe, or simply a force of love, this new spiritual vision usually redefines their lives and choices. These common elements, the shift in priorities, the love for human relationships, the search for purpose, the release of the fear of death, and the deep gratitude for life, not only transform the individuals who have gone through an NDE but also inspire us to reflect on our own lives. Are we truly valuing what matters? These stories invite us to rethink our priorities and embrace the present with more intensity and gratitude. It's impossible not to pause and reflect. What are we really doing with our time here? Life, with its obligations and daily distractions, often pulls us away from what is most essential: human connections, the search for purpose, and gratitude for the simple fact of existing. But the experiences of those who have touched the edge of death teach us something valuable. Life is about much more than just surviving. It's about living with intention, with love, and with presence. Many of us spend a great deal of time chasing things that, in the end, hold little relevance when compared to what we feel and share with those around us. The peace these people found on the other side is a reminder that, at the core, the only things we carry with us are the moments, the gestures of kindness, and the way we choose to live each day. What really matters to you? Life, so fragile and unpredictable, can change in the blink of an eye. Perhaps it's time to let go of fear, grudges, and worries that pull us away from who we truly are. May these stories serve as inspiration to seize the now, strengthen our bonds, and live with more lightness, peace, and love. Because, in the end, it's not what we have, but what we live, that makes all the difference.